Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We are so excited to kick off Cohort 5's Demo Day. We're going to begin with a quick video.
We know that ocean innovation can curtail climate change. It can preserve our oceans. It can create new opportunities for us. And we are so excited to be using market solutions and thinking through every single day with our partners at SeaAhead, with our founders at BlueSwell, how we're going to make this ocean healthy for ourselves and for our future.
It is, in its truest sense, an accelerator. It connects us with industry, investors in the bluetech area. We've been part of panels and different boards and just really made all the connections that have been necessary to move our company forward. We have new clients because of BlueSwell.
Even for someone as technical as me and other founders, it's just so hard to bridge that gap when you're not coming from that world. And BlueSwell really does do that for us and help us move through.
A scientist, we never had any founder's experience. BlueSwell definitely connect us as a scientist entrepreneur to the industry, give us a lot of resources, find the pain points from them, and also connect the investors.
As engineers, we want to build what's cool, but it's more important to build what a customer would want to pay for, to meet customer needs instead of our passion for building cool things was probably the most important part of the program.
We did not have a ton of business acumen, so the BlueSwell program was like an MBA. I can't thank you guys enough. The person that I was coming into the BlueSwell program and the business person coming out, like totally different.
They have really successfully paired us with advisors who are just integral to getting us to our own personal objective. And I think it's a community of founders and just general innovators in the space who are really passionate about keeping our water clean.
We loved getting to know the Boston community, a rising tide lifts all boats kind of thing. So it is great where you're not only celebrating your own wins, but everybody else's wins.
Being on the West Coast, I don't know as many people from the East Coast, so I think the most fun part about the in-person weeks is being able to actually talk to entrepreneurs, investors, and other community members in person.
Connections with mentors has been really valuable. Definitely a big thank you to the whole BlueSwell team. Everybody's been really great and super helpful in helping us understand how we can approach our business model.
And it's always really good to get that feedback from the cohort to understand what other folks are going to, and everyone is really happy to sort of lend each other their expertise or experiences and recommend how to go forward.
Definitely the connection with the people is the most enjoyable part in this journey. We can see the founders, we can talk about our pains, we can encourage each other.
Sometimes the hard things become easier just because you have other people going through the journey with you. I had some great times at Roger Williams, meeting with people from URI and the Rhode Island Blue Economy. So we're glad to represent Rhode Island.
You learn a lot from mentors, you learn a lot from industry experts, but you really learn most of it from people going through the same thing with you. Sharing problems, just commiserating and venting. It is just wonderful to not be alone in this, I would admit, one of the hardest journeys one can pursue in their career. So it's been a wonderful program.
Bluetech is inherently a really challenging space to work in, from finance to actually operating in the ocean, but one that's growing rapidly.
When people ask me why Bluetech, the reason for me is that there's just so much momentum in this space. And frankly, the stakes are really high. We can't afford to lose. And so we're not going to. This is a space where there's a lot of opportunity and a large potential for returns. And we need to invest in it.
Everyone, welcome to the New England Aquarium. My name is Latice Lafier. I'm Chief of Conservation and Stewardship here at the aquarium, and I oversee all of our programs. So I'm excited to be with you all today, and I'm excited to see the demos. This video is queuing us up really well here. So on behalf of not only myself, but our President and CEO, Vicki Spruill, who's here in the audience with us, as well as our broader New England Aquarium team and our partners at SeaAhead who are here helping us host tonight. We are honored to have you join us for the 5th annual Demo Day for our BlueSwell Incubator program. So thank you all for being here. And before I get started, there's always housekeeping because we're in a big space. I want to make sure that you know to find the restrooms at the top of the stairs. If you need them, just feel free to go up the side stairs. Please do silence your cell phones as we get into the program to make sure we can minimize disruptions. And the fire exits are also at the top of the stairs to the left and to the right. So those are illuminated. Just want to make sure that just in case, we're all set. So as we prepare for the exciting program tonight, I do want to just offer a few welcome remarks. And as you heard in the video, the ocean is critical to all of us. We are dependent on the ocean and the one connected ocean. I want to be sure to say that. So all of us, all life depends on the ocean because it's the lifeblood of our planet. And a healthy ocean is critical for a sustainable future. And that's a sustainable future for the planet, a sustainable future for the blue economy. And so it's such an important part of what we talk about here at the New England Aquarium and what you'll hear more about tonight in tonight's program. And we can't overstate the importance of the ocean to our overall health. As the lungs of the planet, every other breath, I say thank you, ocean. Because 50% of our oxygen comes from the ocean. It also is a critical carbon sink, and it absorbs a significant portion of the heat that's released into the atmosphere. So it's an important buffer for us all as well on the impacts of climate change. Yet, many of our practices are unsustainable and irresponsible and causing significant harm to the ocean and its ecosystems. But we know that we can change that. And what you'll hear tonight are some of the ways that we're driving towards solutions to change that. And importantly, we need to focus on working together and pulling all the levers in order for us to get to those solutions. And you'll hear about the market-based solutions and other creative approaches and innovation to get us to those solutions. We also want to make sure we remember that a lot of this work is in conjunction with many people behind the scenes. You have researchers and managers and others who need to work together to get to those points, who are advancing discovery and exploration, efforts by industries and corporations that are all part of this broader need to expand innovation, which holds the key to turning the tide and developing new and creative ways of balancing ocean health with responsible use. And those are key pillars for us at New England Aquarium too. We know ocean conservation is just as important for people as it is for marine animals and their habitats. And that is why we partnered with SeaAhead to create BlueSwell, which is the first blue technology hub of its kind in the Northeast, leveraging creative business minds with the science and conservation expertise that we have here at the New England Aquarium. Over the past 5 years of the BlueSwell program, we have been consistently impressed, awed actually, with the dedication, passion, and energy that the cohort members bring to their work every single day. Whether it is developing new or more efficient ways to collect vital oceanographic data, or using machine learning to improve animal welfare and aquaculture, or breaking new ground in the burgeoning carbon capture industry, BlueSwell founders and alumni are working on the cutting edge of ocean innovation. So as you listen tonight to Cohort 5's pitches, I hope you too are inspired to join us in creating a more vibrant ocean and more resilient and blue future for all. It is now with my pleasure to introduce Alyssa Peterson, who is the co-founder and executive director of SeaAhead. I almost said BlueSwell again.
All right, hi everyone. I can't believe that this is our 5th demo day. The energy around this event has only multiplied since we first celebrated in 2021. And whether this is your first demo day or your 5th, I hope, and actually I know, that you are gonna leave tonight feeling invigorated and inspired and just, kind of like ready to take on the world. It's gonna be so much fun. So SeaAhead's vision is of a future where the ocean is no longer a mystery. We have advanced tools to collect and process and act on critical ocean data. It's a future where keeping aquatic ecosystems clean and our communities healthy is easier and more efficient than ever. It's a future where our world is fully climate resilient and sustainable, from our coastlines to our cities to our food systems. And this is a vision that we share with the New England Aquarium and why we've partnered together for the BlueSwell program. We believe that ocean innovation is the key to a future where our blue planet thrives. And it's also why the theme of Cohort 5 is Blueprints for a Better Ocean. Each startup that you see tonight demonstrates that innovation inspired by and for our ocean is exactly what we need right now, more than ever. And I love working with bluetech startups because they fundamentally change the way conventional business is done, whether it's by automating complex data management systems or elegantly updating old infrastructure or providing better insights using state-of-the-art sensors. And just frankly, because it attracts really awesome people. And it's astounding to see the passion and hard work and talent that have led all 7 of our cohort members today to where they are. And our efforts to bring more entrepreneurs and innovators and investors into bluetech would not exist without the support and engagement of all of you here. So give yourselves a round of applause. You're all part of this, so thank you. And you share our hopes for a brighter future for the ocean and for humanity. Because we firmly believe that shareholder returns and the health of our coral reefs are not mutually exclusive. And we hope to reinforce and demonstrate that for you today. So let's dive in. I am excited and honored to present our guest speaker for today, which is Undersecretary Ashley Stolba. All right. Hello. As Undersecretary of Economic Foundations for the Healey-Driscoll administration, Ashley supports the Commonwealth's mission to foster foundational economic opportunities for residents and communities and businesses across Massachusetts. She oversees major investments in public infrastructure, business development, and climate resilience, and works to promote the blue economy through her work with the Massachusetts Clean Energy Center and as vice chair of the Seaport Economic Council. So please join me in giving a warm welcome to Undersecretary Ashley Stolba.
That is always the worst part. I was like, please do not read a long bio. So you did a very good job to not make it too awkward. But I am going to cover up this picture that's right here on my screen with this because it's a little bit awkward. So thank you so much. I am so excited to be here for your 5th cohort of BlueSwell. I am so excited to be here with the aquarium and with SeaAhead. So Alyssa and I have known each other for quite some time while serving in this role. We met back in 2022 at UMass when she was doing an awesome partnership with UMass to do exactly what she's doing now in promoting and helping young entrepreneurs. So I'm so happy to see that this is growing and you're still doing that work since we met back then. And huge thanks to Nadir, who I think I saw earlier, but your team has been truly, truly amazing. And I'm so happy to be back at the aquarium. I've never actually been in this auditorium, so this is like an amazing, amazing space. I'm a Massachusetts native, so I've been coming here since I was a very small child. But Vicki, I am so thrilled that you're at the helm. I love that you are not only focusing on making an amazing tourism destination at the aquarium, but also really caring about conservancy and resiliency and all the things that SeaAhead and all of us are so passionate about. And thank you so much to Latisse. You did an awesome job with all of your remarks, and I certainly won't repeat anything you said, but we really are so lucky to have you on the team. So we are here with Team Massachusetts. I wear my Team Massachusetts bracelets very proudly. When I was running out of the car, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to bring my bracelet. So I have quite a few on my wrist that I will hand out. But this really is a perfect culmination of what Team Massachusetts is. We have entrepreneurs, we have mentors, we have leaders in the blue economy space, we have nonprofit, for-profit folks. So we really are so grateful for all of you to be here and be here on Team Massachusetts. So We certainly are in very interesting and unpredictable and totally crazy times right now. So we really are so grateful that all of you are trying to do innovative and new things to really make sure that we're making the investments and really getting out of this climate crisis using bluetech and using your brains and using innovation. I mean, really using the private sector creative business thoughts to get us out of this crisis. And the Healey-Driscoll administration feels very strongly that the way that we get out of our climate crisis is through innovation. In Massachusetts, we are in the best place to really have this ecosystem right here in this state. We have the best schools, we have the best entrepreneurs, we have the best venture capitalists, we have the best, all of you. So we really do feel very strongly that Massachusetts is the place where we can create this awesome ecosystem of blue tech companies right here. We're also making a lot of investments in this space. So back in November, we signed a historic economic development bond bill, and we really were seeking to lead off the work that we did in the life sciences space in Massachusetts. We've made a ton of investments in life sciences, and that was incredibly intentional. But what we heard and what we know is that climate tech and blue tech is a whole area that we need to start making investments, and we did just that. So building off of the work that we did in life sciences, we authorized $1 billion to invest in climate tech over the next 10 years. So we're really excited about these investments. We want to help the companies that you're starting and you're investing in through these investments, and we're going to do that through this bill. I also want to make just a little bit of a plug. Something that we're launching quite soon is called the Business Front Door. So for those of you businesses in the room, we actually have a lot of state resources that are available to you and a lot of resources and help that we can provide you. But what we heard, and what I'm sure some of you have experienced, is sometimes these things are a little hard to navigate. You don't know where to go, or the forms are really clunky, or all of that. So what we're creating is a new website that you can go to, write in your name, and someone's going to get right back to you and help you guide you through the process. So the website is live. It's www.mass.gov/BFD. It's called the Business Front Door, which we think is a BFD. So it is up now. We're making improvements as we go, but we'd love to have you guys check it out so we can help you access our state resources. So I'm so excited to be here. I'm thrilled to hear the pitches. I know you have quite a few, so I will not speak for any longer. But thank you so much for inviting me to be part of this, and I am just thrilled. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Undersecretary Stolba, for your inspiring remarks. Good evening, everyone. Thank you again for coming tonight. My name is Julia Pangan, and I'm the BlueSwell Program Manager at SeaAhead. I've had the honor of working closely with each cohort member over the past 5 months. We've learned a great deal together: how to conduct customer discovery, how to build a capital plan and prepare your startup for investment, best practices for governance and board building, and how to build a powerful storytelling pitch. That last one is coming in handy tonight. Part of what makes Program Manager so great is that I get to know and work with incredible entrepreneurs. This cohort is no exception. Full of lively, passionate, brilliant founders, Cohort 5 has made the past several months a remarkable and fulfilling experience. I am grateful for their eager engagement, their unbelievable resilience and dedication, their cutting-edge creativity and vision, and their stalwart commitment to protecting and rejuvenating our ocean. The future holds incredible things for Cohort 5, and they're more than ready for the journey ahead. Now the time has come to hear from the founders themselves. Please join me in giving a very warm welcome to the first pitch of the evening, Navy McKee from Pono Solutions.
All right, hello everybody. Imagine a world where rivers, lakes, streams, and oceans are all constantly replenished with clean water. And imagine having the ability to trace every single contamination threat flowing into our most precious resource. This surely doesn't happen overnight, but I've made it my life's mission to make this our reality. Growing up on the Big Island of Hawaii, I saw the ocean in every way imaginable, from crystal clear and beaming with marine life to looking like chocolate milk after pollutants had gone through the thousands of stormwater outlets on the island. Again, my name is Navy McKee. I'm the CEO and founder of Pono Solutions. I have a background in product and manufacturing, and I'm a San Diego State University graduate. I founded this company alongside my father, Dan McKee, who is an infrastructure expert of over 33 plus years. We don't do this alone. We work alongside Lainey, Jack, Bailey, and Edward, who are all incredible assets to our team. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, urban runoff is the leading source of water quality impairment. So why would that mean we target storm drains? Well, one, they don't require changing human behavior associated with pollution. So yes, plastic straws, microplastics, all of these things are really bad for the environment, but let's understand how these things make their way to our waterways in the first place, usually via a storm drain. Storm drains currently discharge directly into our waterways unfiltered and untreated, and the stormwater industry is in low key and in need of some major innovation. So each month in LA County, residents contribute to stormwater pollution by dropping cigarette butts on the ground nearly 915,000 times, walking a dog without picking up droppings more than 82,000 times, and spraying a garden or lawn with pesticides more than 210,000 times. Approximately 100 million gallons of contaminated water and debris flow through their storm drain systems each day on a dry day. So imagine a wet day. Did that gross you out? I'm assuming it did. And if it didn't, it should, because this is what you and your family expose yourself to every single time you play in a waterway after it's rained. So just because you can't see it, it doesn't mean it's not there. There are over 270 million storm drains in the United States, and less than 1% of those are being properly treated through stormwater treatment assets at the moment, which is why we created Pono Solutions, a stormwater filtration device. We work with government, municipalities and cities, ports, airports, industrial facilities, land developers, but most importantly, we work really heavily with civil and environmental engineers and directors of stormwater and transportation. So if you have any contacts, you know where to find me. Our customers really want this market to be disrupted. We talked to over 60 plus members of our target market in the earlier days, and 76% of them were unsatisfied with the current stormwater solutions on the market. 70% of them outwardly mentioned that cost and maintenance were a huge issue for them, and 100% of them wanted to be notified if our device were to become on the market. This proves the big demand for stormwater filtration. We actually just recently attended a conference and a trade show, and we were able to land 3 contracts through that trade show alone. It was our first one, so really exciting for us. We are the Lego of stormwater filtration. Pono Solutions is a 3-basin system that fits directly in the curb and gutter line and filters water in a patent-pending sequence before reaching the nearest storm drain inlet. We're also working on the future of data and R&D, meaning we implement IoT data acquisition systems and capture information on flow rates, contamination, and maintenance cycles associated with each and every install. This is our pilot on the island of Maui, one of our biggest claims to fame and one of our things we're most excited about. We only require around 1.1 cubic yards of excavation, which is less than 1% of the spatial footprint of large competitors. So we have a really small spatial footprint, which is why engineers are choosing us. We also have some pretty high flow rates, and it only takes 1 person 1 day to install this device, where competitors can take up to 2 weeks. We are liquid mold injected with PDCPD, and we're currently manufacturing with Osborne Industries in Osborne, Kansas. So we are USA made as well. Some highlights about our company: we have a non-provisional patent filed on our apparatus as of August 2022. We have our 3 pending contracts that I mentioned to you all, one of them hopefully taking place in the next couple of months here, hoping to break some ground. Our completed Maui pilot and case study to have our proof of concept. We're also certified by the California State Water Board Trash Capture Association. This was a huge win for us and something that was able to kind of get us over that hump to make it to market. And we have also raised over $75,000 in non-dilutive funding and over the past 5 years to get us to this point. Tonight, we're currently asking for any government or stormwater mentors, pilot spaces and opportunities, or even contract potential, introductions to civil engineers, consultants, EPA advisors, and also looking for investors as we are raising a $500,000 pre-seed round at the moment to jumpstart our manufacturing and expand our sales throughout the US. If Pono can remove 33 gallons of trash and pollutants from one storm drain, just imagine what we can do with 270 million of them. Thank you so much for listening to my pitch tonight, and I hope you join us on our mission of saving our waterways one storm drain at a time. And thank you, BlueSwell.
So if I was to ask you, would you rather spend a day without your sense of sight or your sense of hearing? It'd be a tough choice, but my guess is many of you would keep your sense of sight. It's important to us. But if you lived underwater, the choice is a little bit easier because sound and hearing is used for localization, communication, a general sense of awareness. So sound is crucial underwater. My name's Steve Bordenaro. I'm here with Philip Caspers, and we founded Crewless Marine to give uncrewed vehicles the ability to hear the ocean. And we bring many years of experience developing systems for the Navy to address this challenge. So sound can be used for many things. You can use it to find things you're looking for, like marine mammals or feeding activity in aquaculture, to monitor underwater noise pollution from offshore wind or from shipping. But the application we're most interested in is the safety and security aspect of finding things that shouldn't be there, like narco submarines or illegal fishing or underwater threats to ports and harbors. And in this world of surveillance and cameras and phones, the underwater realm remains pretty much unmonitored. While disconcerting, this is understandable because the vastness of the ocean makes monitoring very difficult with crewed ships alone. But there is an opportunity with the rise of unmanned maritime vehicles. Although the number of vehicles is growing, only a subset have acoustic capability. And even fewer, if any, are incorporating acoustics into their autonomy. And right now, there's no commercial solution to provide this capability. So Crewless Marine wants to be the first to market with an end-to-end acoustic solution. So when you're developing an acoustic array, the primary metric is detection range. How large of an area can you monitor? It turns out that the cost of the sensor increases exponentially with the detection range. And our friends at the Navy just keep climbing up this curve. Makes sense because their platforms are very expensive. But the calculus is much different when you talk about uncrewed vehicles. Turns out it is cheaper to monitor a large area with many low-cost sensors than one exquisite sensor. So we're looking to optimize on a metric of dollar per mile. We do this by providing the sensor, the onboard signal processing, and the data fusion across platforms. So this picture in the center is a visualization of acoustics. And you can see there's like 3 swoops. Those are 3 ships going by. There's lines that you can learn information about the blade rate and the type of engine. You can look at the frequencies and the Doppler effects to figure out speed. And I tell you all this, one, because it's really cool. I really enjoy this. But second, because it's not obvious. And you can't expect a sonar expert to be monitoring all your uncrewed vehicles. So we've automated this whole process to give data that's consumable to either an untrained operator or to an autonomous system. So on the right is what we've produced. Those little hotspots show that we've identified 2 ships and they have a certain area of uncertainty, something you can send an autonomous asset or a manned asset to intervene. So I told you what we're doing. Let me tell you who's doing it. Phil and I have 4 decades of experience developing sensors and autonomous signal processing for the Navy. Through my work with Naval X, I've met and have relationships with a lot of bluetech startups. I think I've seen a couple of them here tonight. So I think we're a good team, small team, but a good team to tackle this challenge. And through the BlueSwell program and customer discovery, we've really focused who we are as a business and where we fit in the market. We found that there's competition in the hydrophone arena, but when it comes to these large arrays and the edge processing, you're pretty much down to large companies and defense primes. And we haven't found anyone really doing that end-to-end solution and providing the tools like digital twins that you need to incorporate these systems into an autonomous vehicle. We started with a PVC pipe prototype, a lot of zip ties and duct tape, and now we have an MVP. We have an array that we'd like to show you over in our booth. And we also have the design tools and the analysis tools to meet customer needs. We have secured a pilot project where we've been doing some testing for a USV developer and have done some successful testing. And we've gone from prototype to MVP. Our next challenge, which is pretty exciting, is to go from MVP to production. So we're gearing up to build 100 hydrophones, and we just have space over at URI Bay campus to do manufacturing. So the ask, right now we're not looking for funding. We're happy to meet investors and talk to them, and always looking for non-dilutive funding. But our main ask tonight is to look for platform partners. If you bring the platform, we'll bring the acoustics, and we can go demonstrate an autonomous threat detection system and keep the ocean safe. Thank you very much.
I forgot, thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. You can feel that, right? I'm Jimmy Zhang, and let me introduce our company, WataBot. We're developing robots to stop the toxic algae. We believe in that future, water management has to be done by robots, not human. That's what we are building for now. In 2014, when I just started my PhD in environmental engineering, there's a water crisis in Toledo, Ohio. 400,000 people cannot use the tap water due to the harmful algae bloom for 3 days. We cannot risk of let that happen again. The harmful algae bloom is a silent crisis. It cost 13 billion economy loss, and it's very difficult to deal with. When you see it, it's too late. The current treatment of the algae has to take the sample, send to the lab, wait for the results, and then apply large amount of the algaecide on the water and wait to kill the algae. It's slow, expensive, and most importantly, cannot stop the damage. We need to change this. I'm here to introduce WataBot, the robot that can find and fix algae automatically. It's like Zumba for the water. Yeah. No more gassing, no more wait, and clean water automatically. Wow. WataBot. How does it work? If you want to stop the algae in very early stage, you have to detect early. That's my research at MIT. We developed the sensor that can identify the harmful algae in very low concentration, in very complex water metrics, so that we can recognize the harmful algae very, very early stage. When we integrate it into the robot, it can scan your water body instead of just collect the data from one fixed point, which the stationary buoy does right now. With the high resolution spatial and temporal data, we can use our AI to predict the hotspot of the algae bloom. So it can send the robot to neutralize it with the eco-friendly treatment. So find, predict, and then neutralize. That's how it works. The beach market we are facing right now is the freshwater management in the US. According to the EPA, there's 3 million acre water needs management. 10% of it equal $1 billion market. And we are aiming to spend from the freshwater to the marine water, from the US to the global. The market is huge and waiting for us. And we can offer the robot as a service to the local water management company at a very competitive price, because the technology development and also the cost job of the hardware and the AI. It will come with the add-on treatment service and the data subscription. Can save you a lot of time and money. So if you are managing your water right now, please upgrade with us. And it was very exciting journey from the MIT lab to the market. We already have our sensor prototype, robot prototype ready, and thanks to the BlueSwell's program, helped us to connect with local, and we have reached the pilot agreement with the lake management company in the Boston. And we are about to deploy our first robot in this summer, and more is coming. So please, if you want to pilot with us, let me know after this event. We cannot be here without a good team. We are all MIT researchers, expertise in sensor development, data, and also robotics. And thanks to the product team, built the prototype, and of course, of advisors from the academia and the industry to help us grow fast. Thank you for listening. And right now, we are raising money for the further research, development, and also manufacturing. And we are hoping with the more investment, we can grow faster, and the money invest is gonna be built for the future. Clean water, protected by the robots, and thank you so much.
Good evening. Show of hands, who's found a Spanish galleon full of gold in the seafloor? 1, 2 in the back. I recommend it. It's an amazing experience. Hi, I'm Jeff Healey with Armada. We're propelling innovation, and my co-founder and I come out of Woods Hole Oceanographic, deploying and operating underwater robots. We had the amazing opportunity to do just that a couple years back in the Caribbean. It's complicated. You take a ship, you program a robot, it goes down, it surveys, it comes back. It's human intensive and takes time, and it's the exact same way that we look at getting data out of the ocean, and it's just not scalable. But data is gold in the ocean, and specifically interior ocean data. And we suffer from a huge interior ocean data gap in the ocean, and that's a big problem. Not only are our oceans absorbing more heat and more carbon, but the way that's transmitted around the world through ocean currents is changing faster than we can model it. So we don't just need more data to understand these processes, we need the right data in the right place at the right time to solve some pretty big problems. And right now is a really, really good time to solve that problem, because there's a huge demand for data driven by the amazing acceleration of large language models, but there's a huge data gap in the ocean driven by having more data terrestrially and in space than we do in the water to feed those models. There's a huge demand, and there are also immediate environmental challenges right now that need to be solved, from climate change to understanding other things of how the oceans tie back to our terrestrial problems. And there's a very dynamic funding ecosystem right now, which is going to create some really big opportunities in the private capital space to help these problems along. So our solution at Armada is to address this with a scalable and adaptive infrastructure for interior ocean data, which is going to help provide data both when and where it's needed. And we approach this with a 3-stack solution. First is this innovative mobile float concept that we've been developing for a while now, focused on combining several innovative technologies that independently we've been working on through different SBIR funds, So this platform, like a float, can conduct vertical profiles. Like a fish can swim horizontally, can also drift passively, or go to the surface to transmit data. So these different capabilities enable a novel operation strategy where we can launch and recover from shore. We don't need a ship. We don't need complex programming. We can adaptively drift with the currents to get to where we need to go to solve the questions we need to solve. And then at the highest level is a cloud data pipeline. So we're not processing and programming each individual robot. We are managing the constellation and providing infrastructure as a service at the end of the day. So exciting things are under the horizon. We've been working for a number of years now and reached $2.5 million in non-dilutive investment across several different key technologies. One shown here is in propulsion, as well as ballast and payload delivery. I've got a couple of hardware pieces over after this. Would love to show you more of those. In the near term, we're combining those tech into a single platform. We're calling the Mobile Float. That's going to do two things for us. One is going to generate early revenue from unit sales in our beachhead market of folks that are already in our value network doing research in the ocean. The second, that's going to significantly de-risk the capabilities of that platform and the operation strategy to dilutive investment to allow us to scale up to that full constellation. And ultimately, long term, we want to be able to provide infrastructure as a service to our customers. So we have a dynamic and growing ecosystem at Armada. Myself, my two co-founders, Robin and Rusty, who unfortunately couldn't be here tonight but are here in spirit. Ani and James and Justin are also key team members, as well as an ecosystem of subcontractors and consultants, and certainly BlueSwell and others, and several funding agencies as well. So thanks so much. We'd love for you to join us on our journey. Two different ways you can get engaged. If you're an investor, we're not looking for money right now, but we'd love to hear what milestones you like to see, particularly in blue tech, before committing your funds to help companies grow and be successful. And if you have scalable infrastructure needs, payloads, questions to ask, we'd love to talk more about that. So thanks so much for your time, and I'll see you over at my table.
All right, I'm going to invite the first 4 speakers from cohort 5 to come on up for a little Q&A, a little break. How are we doing, everyone? Yeah? Awesome. So we're going to test the acoustic capability of the Simons Theater right now, a little science experiment. So if you have a question, please raise your hand. I will call on you. Project your question. I'll repeat it on mic. It could be for one of the founders. It could be for all of them. And we have time for a couple questions. So anyone, any brave volunteers? You, sir, in the front. All right, question for Crewless Marine. What do you plan to do at URI with your development?
Yeah, great question, because you can come visit us. We're over at the Ocean Technology Center. And right now we're standing up small-scale manufacturing of our hydrophones. So you can come over and watch us pour urethane and do some electronics testing. And then that's also where we're assembling our arrays. So stop by and see the array, and we do some 3D printing over there too.
Any more questions? You, sir, all the way in the back. All right, question for Navy, for Kai Pono. After you filter out the debris, what's the process for the removal? Is that maintenance?
Yep. So that's a great question. So a way we really differentiate from a lot of the competitors on the market is our simple maintenance with the filters and the devices. So a lot of our competitors have to bring out really large vacuum trucks, and the municipalities have to purchase those vacuum trucks. We've really slimmed down the maintenance for municipalities and industrial facilities by only requiring a shop vac. So you can pull up right next to the device, take off the grates, pull out your shop vac, vacuum out any kind of solids or any kind of TSS, anything like that. And then we also use another kind of filter, which is called a metalamat, and those can actually easily be sprayed out too into a bucket. So it's a really simple maintenance process. And then just depending on what kind of filtration media you decide to use, our device is custom. So you could use polypropylene, you could use activated carbon, you could use biochar, you could use metalamat. So it all just kind of differs depending on what you're using in those areas.
All right, one last question. Oh, okay, you sir on the side. Okay, so a two-parter for WataBot, dealing with cyanobacteria, and then just sort of the process for lake management.
I think that's the perfect question. For the lake, fresh water is definitely our current focus right now. So we calculate our that size of the robot can survey 20-acre lake in a day, like by the daytime. So it can survey, get the whole scan. And for the treatment, is right now it's separate. We can only do the monitoring right now, but we're testing with some like eco-friendly the treatment device, which can install on our device, or either we can enlarge our size of the robot that can be do the treatment. Yeah, thank you. That's why we need this opportunity for the R&D. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. A hand for our first 4 presenters. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Just a reminder, you can talk to any of these companies more during our reception in the main building following the pitches. So second half, you're up.
Hello, everyone. With a show of hands, how many of you have eaten any type of seafood lately? Fish, ooh, good crowd. Well, if you did that, most likely you ate produce that is made by aquaculture. Aquaculture supplies over half of the world's seafood right now. And that staggering number, it will double by 2050. But sadly, it won't be enough to meet the nutrition demands of the world's growing population. We can bridge that gap with recirculating aquaculture. Recirculating aquaculture is land-based facilities that recycle between 40 and 99% of the water and create closed-loop systems. They provide high-quality, fresh seafood, not frozen. They can be locally sourced, so you don't have to import. They reduce water usage significantly, and most importantly, they help support the restoration of our natural wild fisheries. The problem is that these industries are finding it hard to stay afloat. They have a significant water toxicity problem. These facilities rely on heavy filtration, both mechanical and biological. And when those filters break down, and they do, waste accumulates, ammonium and nitrate, and those become very toxic very quickly. Along with the very high density of culture that's required to keep these services profitable, they become fertile grounds for disease outbreak. And all of these combined lead to a staggering 30% or more mortality and poor animal welfare. My name is Dr. Nili Persitz, and I'm the founder and CEO of Dottir Labs. We are developing the world's first automated large-scale optical sensor system for aquaculture. I spun Dottir Labs out of MIT, where I developed this technology for a very different industry, which is the pharmaceutical industry. I was building these sensors to provide real-time monitoring. And then I realized we have bigger fish to fry. And so decided to take my research and direct it to water monitoring. Dottir Labs is building a new sensing method that allows to monitor every step of the recirculating aquaculture facility, from inlet water to fish tanks, all stages of filtration, disinfection as well, and the waste stream. We can monitor nitrates and ammonium, but also take learnings from the pharmaceutical industry. We can monitor biomass, metabolic markers, dissolved CO2 and ozone, and we can detect pollutants and disease before they become catastrophic. We have a significant competitive advantage because our system is widely scalable. We can deploy dozens of sensors over kilometers with an optical fiber network. And we do real-time continuous monitoring that is completely non-destructive and chemical-free. And most importantly, automated and self-calibrated so it can happen in real time and prevent the next disaster. Here you can see our sensor system, and we can detect liquids and solids. Most of the time we immerse these probes into water. They have a very small footprint and do not obstruct any part of the process, and they're easily deployable because they use optical fibers. As I mentioned, we did start from pharmaceutical industry, but we are targeting aquaculture as our beachhead market, where we're already establishing partnerships with US and Europe-based manufacturers of equipment to create a holistic solution. We intend to grow to adjacent markets as well, because we think we can have massive value in both water treatment, food and beverage, and bioprocess. Dottir Lab is led by me, and I am joined by fantastic engineers, Dr. Valentin Chiravi, who's our software engineer, and our newly joined lead system engineer, Charles. We are fortunate to have a fantastic group of advisors who have decades of experience in commercializing hard tech in life sciences and the chemical industry, as well as a scientific advisor from MIT. We are currently raising our 1.5 pre-seed round, and I'm very proud to say we are already a third way into that, reaching that goal. And we're going to use that to develop our core technology and prepare for our first pilot integration that's coming later this year. Join me as we change the way we create and define seafood to sustain our water. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Derek Long, co-founder of Hydrophos Solutions, where we're transforming wastewater into the future of sustainable agriculture. We have a global resource allocation issue. It's threatening our food and water supply, and it all surrounds one nutrient, phosphorus. Currently, we're mining phosphorus. It's a key input for our agriculture, where if we didn't have it in our fertilizers, we would produce 50% less food. This is a picture of a phosphorus depleted field. And without the phosphorus on our farmlands, our farmers cannot help us, cannot feed our communities. At the same time, we're letting it seep into our waterways. 40% of the US's water has excess phosphorus in it. This costs us $2 billion a year. And when this phosphorus gets in the water, it causes algal blooms. It destroys ecosystems and turns clean water toxic. I remember as a camp counselor, 30 miles away from here, testing the phosphorus levels of our pond to see if it was safe for the kids to swim and kayak. Then in college, I got together with a team of smart and environmentally motivated students where we set our sights on taking phosphorus out of the water and putting it back on our fields. Our solution is to reclaim phosphorus from wastewater so it is directly usable as a fertilizer. We are helping companies meet their water discharge requirements, lowering their treatment costs, and producing a sustainable fertilizer product. We're watching as companies are throwing money down the drain. Industries such as breweries, distilleries, food and beverage manufacturing, municipal wastewater treatment plants are struggling as they deal with all of these nutrients in their water. They tend to face two options. They can limit their production in order to reduce how many nutrients they're throwing down the drain, or they are paying for costly treatment systems, cutting into their bottom line. We do two things. We sell phosphorus removal systems, and then we also sell the recovered phosphorus as a soil amendment and slow release fertilizer. Our system works in 3 easy steps. Water enters the system, passes through the filter medium where only the phosphorus is taken out, and then the filter medium can be directly applied to farmland. Our proprietary filter medium is a biochar treated to only uptake phosphorus and none of the other contaminants in the water. It binds tightly with the phosphorus, making it a slow release fertilizer where, unlike many fertilizers which just dump the nutrient on the field, letting it run off into local bodies of water, it releases it as the plants need it, protecting local ecosystems. Now, looking at breweries and distilleries, there's a $500 million need for their water treatment, which ends up producing $290 million in fertilizer and feeding 3 million people. Other industries, such as dairy processing, have a $1.5 billion market opportunity in the water, and then with the potential to feed 7 million people. And then with 16,000 wastewater treatment plants across the country, there is the potential to feed 70 million people. Now with our tech, we've seen over 97% removal rates. We've proven it with a variety of effluent from breweries, distilleries, wastewater treatment plants. We have proven out our filtration prototype. We've done plant growth study with our fertilizers. And we have a pilot set to begin soon at a distillery. Now, as the CEO of Hydrophos, my background's in economics and business. But our team has a variety of industry experience, from engineering, water filtration, chemistry, and also a few other business students. We came together in college, and since then, we've raised $315,000. We've been a part of some amazing programs, from the Clean Tech Open, Techstars Water Tech and Sustainability, and then of course the fabulous BlueSwell. We've been able to turn our dorm room vision into a reality. Connect with us after this, as we are soon to launch our pre-seed round, and we'll be at the aquarium where you can find us. Also, if you know anybody with phosphorus in their wastewater, we'd like to know. At Hydrophos, we're not just reclaiming phosphorus from our wastewater. We're turning companies and wastewater treatment plants into manufacturers of sustainable, environmentally friendly, locally sourced fertilizer. Join us in closing the loop on our phosphorus supply. Thank you.
A single sensor only captures an echo of the environment's behavior at a single spot. To really understand what's happening in the world around us, we need a way to bring all kinds of data together into a unified voice we can understand. Because our oceans are changing at a pace we've never seen before.
All right, everyone's still awake. I want to start out by asking you a question. Has anyone here ever been in a hurricane? Wow, that's actually more than I expected. I'm glad you're all still here today. My name is Dr. Josh Humberston, founder and CEO of Coastal Measures, and I was on the Outer Banks of North Carolina conducting coastal research as Hurricane Dorian was bearing down on that island. And I can tell you one thing about that experience for me: it was terrifying. It went from a sunny day when I woke up to gusty, to shrapnel blowing around, and then water levels began to rise and just didn't stop. What was worst about it for myself and my community around me is that we were looking the wrong way entirely. Everyone thought the ocean would be the risk, but as the hurricane passed, the winds switched. The bay behind us is actually what caused all of the flooding and left many people clinging to the roofs of their home. I, as a scientist, had to wonder, why were our models in blue, so far off from the reality of the situation in green. The culprit is somewhat mundane, siloed data. However, something we don't think a lot about is that aggregating and curating data consumes 2.5 or more amount of time compared to developing an AI model. It turns out we've been spending a lot of our effort and funding addressing the wrong problem. And the reason for this is that we're using antiquated paradigm for data management. Every time someone builds a new sensor, they realize they need to get that data to a customer. So what they do is they create a proprietary data format. They create a proprietary data cloud, and then when a user needs to combine that, it's almost impossible. This is setting us up for failure. And so I'd like to introduce you to Cumulus by Coastal Measures. This is a whole new paradigm for ocean data where any sensor, any data, private or public, is all accessible on one platform. Our innovative plug-in architecture lets new sensors add into Cumulus in as little as an hour and deliver a unified analytics-ready data stream to users, which is what they want to remove all that burden of time spent on aggregation. This really lets us, for the first time, get a more full and holistic picture of what the ocean is doing around us. For example, a water level sensor, shown on the bottom left here, is great. We have thousands of them, but they let you look into the past. In Cumulus, we can fuse it with a global weather model, and then AI rapidly lets us forecast events like that one in North Carolina almost perfectly. And because we've removed that burden to aggregation, this can be expanded to a national coastal AI flood model at the click of a button. And I get it, it's data. Some people's eyes roll back in their head. It's not sexy, but it is crucially important because there are dozens and dozens of industries contributing trillions to the global economy that all need this capability to fuse complex data into meaningful solutions. So let's look at some real Cumulus customers today. I want to introduce you to Andy Whitman, owner and operator of Seaport Systems. They build innovative ocean sensors to measure things like tides, currents, waves, toxins in the water around us. He's an expert at hardware, not so much data management. So he chose to use Cumulus for all his sensors to deliver data to his customers. I told him I think we'll save you at least 30% as opposed to building your own. He told me, you're saving me way more than 30%. I don't even think we would have made it without you. So this is great. That's one side of the equation. It works for the sensor providers. What about the sensor users? Well, meet Dr. Thomas Littman. He's a researcher at the University of New Hampshire who does coastal research, coastal resilience, flooding. He uses Seaport System sensors. He also uses dozens of other sensors. After collecting data, he used to spend months writing code to bring it together, fuse the different data formats. It was tedious. Now he just does it all through Cumulus. And what he said is we can actually go and tell the community what is happening, how they should respond, rather than sitting in our lab writing code. And so this is a two-sided data business structure where on one side we have thousands of sensor providers who work with Cumulus through licensing agreements. And on the other side, we have data users, and there's tens of thousands of them who access data, either their own or public data, through data plans that they pay monthly for. This is my passion. I'm an oceanographer and data scientist, and I love this, but it is also a very exciting business opportunity. And it's not just that there's a $5 billion addressable market that's growing every year, and it's not only that there's this wide breadth of new markets that are emerging, and it's not even that we expect to reach $12 million in revenue by our 5th year. It's that I believe all these numbers are highly conservative because building a data management business paves the way for an AI business. We can just look at the tech titans like Google, Amazon, and Meta. Having the best data leads to the best AI. And so I hope you'll consider joining us because the world really does need ocean data to work better now. We are raising a $1 million round to support development of our technical staff, as well as a sales force to go out and work with new sensor providers. I believe this technology is key to avoiding hazards like we saw in North Carolina, where people are caught off guard, industries don't know what's coming their way. Better data is the key to the oceans working better with and for us. I'll be at my table afterwards. Thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you, Josh. Great job. And I'll welcome Nilly and Derek back to the stage as well for some Q&A. And you all know the deal already, same drill. We'll take 3 questions and do your best to project, and I'll repeat the question and have the founder answer it. Okay, any questions? Please. The margin on the 12 million 5 years out.
Yeah. Thank you. I hope you're an investor. That's a good question. The good part about this is a software solution where we're developing the infrastructure that can expand and scale really well with not a lot of recurring investment. So it's partially dependent on the licensing agreements we do with the sensor providers and partially to do with their customer base that pays the data plans. But we essentially have one-time engineering, so I don't want to give you a number because I'd be lying, but it's a really high margin because it's just the development effort up front. So as we get more customers, our margins increase.
Another question, please. In the back. For Dottir Labs, how are the sensors powered?
So we use a central laser system, and that is far off to the side. The sensors actually have a very, very low power consumption. Depending on the facility, we can integrate them, what we've done in the past, at local power sources. They're really easy to power. And outside, they can be easily powered with solar.
Awesome. And one last question. Please. Ooh, interesting. For Hydrophos Solutions, the regulatory journey for your company and if it can be miniaturized and retrofitted for septic systems.
Yeah, thanks for the question. The regulatory side, I'm assuming you're talking about the contaminants in the water getting into the fertilizer. So part of this is with companies such as brews and distilleries who have very natural, like it's yeast, it's all that. There's some stuff in there, but we know everything that's going in, and then we'll know, you can do some quick tests on the fertilizer to make sure it's safe. Also with concerns such as like maybe dairy processing, a lot of the farms next to them are for animal feed, which are under less strict regulations. It's a very key part of our business that we have very carefully thought about. We are taking all the necessary steps to make sure everything is safe and all that, and we're very much on track to making sure that. As for the mini version, I love that idea. I've thought about it a little bit. We have not put too much time on it because it's a little time consuming doing everything else, but I think it's a great idea that I would love to explore more. Absolutely.
Great. Thanks, Derek. And if you have other questions, like we've been saying, you're welcome to find the founders out in the main building. At this time, I'll actually let the founders go ahead out there and prepare for the reception. And for our closing remarks, I would like to welcome John Mandelman to the stage.
Thank you, Julia. Quick personal note before I provide some closing remarks for the program. My name is John Mandelman. I'm the chief scientist here at the New England Aquarium and vice president in charge of our Anderson Cabot Center for Ocean Life, which has had the honor of partnering with SeaAhead and running the BlueSwell program since 2020. Our first demo day was 2021, as was noted earlier. But we started the program right in the middle of the pandemic. And I remember when we first started chatting with our friends at SeaAhead about starting BlueSwell, never could have imagined it would have gotten to this point where we've had now over 30 companies go through each demo day. This is the fifth one, has been noted. It's just so inspiring, and the founders are amazing, and tonight was no exception to that. So thank you for joining us tonight and being part of it. Few quick closing notes. Let me just advance the slide here. I want to make a pitch for one of our other programs in partnership with SeaAhead, the Upswell program, which is more or less an education program for investors who are interested in the blue economy, blue technology. Our fourth white paper, we've had a series, looking at you, Donna Hazard. We've had a series of white papers on a variety of topics, including collectively aquaculture feed, ocean data collection, and AI, marine CDR, carbon dioxide removal, and that includes monitoring, reporting, and verification of carbon. And our final white paper, coastal resilience. Next week on March 13th, we're going to be having a webinar, as we've had for each one of the three previous programs and white papers. If you're interested in that, QR code right here on the screen. The webinar will be at noon on March 13th, so please join us for that. We'd love to have you. Our next Lowell lecture, for those of you that are familiar with our lecture series here in the Simons Theater, the Lowell Institute allows us to have this amazing lecture series free to the public. Our next lecture is going to be on March 20th, Thursday. We're going to be featuring marine scientists Gabriela Choa and Rafid Shidki, who work with sharks in Honduras and Indonesia, respectively. Their work is supported in part by one of our jewels here at the New England Aquarium, the Marine Conservation Action Fund. It's an amazing program that provides small grants and fellowships to community-based projects, what I love to call more or less early career ocean conservation entrepreneurs in low and middle income countries around the world. We've had the program since 1999, and it's an amazing program. Anyway, two of our partners in that program will be presenting that night on their work on sharks. And again, that is March 20th right here in the Simons Theater. So please join us for that. There's more information on both our lecture series as well as MCAF on the New England Aquarium's website. When you head over to the main building, which I know was what you're all waiting for, please stop in our west wing as you go in. Now, when you come in, you're going to kind of bear left towards the entrance side, straight ahead to the left of the information desk. And then when you come in, cut hard left into the west wing. We are going to have champagne there and toast our Cohort 5, our amazing founders from Cohort 5, who you heard from tonight. Touch tank will be open there. Our Lasmabranch, our shark and ray touch tank will be open for about 30 minutes, the start of the program. So please come hang out with us in there. And then, as has been noted several times, if you'd like to speak to our founders more, they're going to have tables in the main building on the ground floor spread around. There's going to be food and drinks on the first and second floor of the aquarium. So feel free to meander and wander around and network. And finally, please feel free to validate your parking if you drove tonight at the information desk to get $10 off. So thank you to our amazing founders, our partners at SeaAhead, and to all of you that came out tonight and are joining us. We really appreciate it, and have a phenomenal evening.